everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am going to transform myself into a professional looking, camera ready zombie using only cheap supplies that I can find in the makeup aisle at Walmart. That's right, no high-end products, no special effects tools, just budget-friendly goodies you can find in your local Walmart store. Can I really create a convincing zombie look without breaking the bank? We're about to find out. So if you're up for some Halloween fun and want to see how to get a creepy zombie look without spending a fortune, grab your makeup and let's get started on this budget-friendly transformation. Here we go. So here's what we ended up with. I got this crazy artist brushes in the kids like crafting section where they have all of the crayons and paints and glues. And in that same section, I picked up Elmer's school glue and a couple of glue sticks for 25 cents. Now, in other non-makeup areas, I got some baby powder. And then the rest of it is I got the cheapest set of brushes that I could find. I got 2 eyeshadow palettes, both under $5. Then I got this super ultra red blush, the reddest one I could find. And I got a, what is this, pressed powder, and it's not translucent. It's the very lightest color I could find, the only one that was lighter than my skin tone, and I just want it to be a few shades lighter than what my normal skin tone is. I also got a couple of lip liners, the reddest ones and orangest ones I could find. I just wanted 2 different types of red. So this one's like a bright red. It is Iconic Ruby. And this one is, it's like an orangey red. It's not quite bright red, but it doesn't have any pink tones in it. It's more of an orange color. And then I've got these 2 CoverGirl liquid lipsticks. And then I got the cheapest hairspray that they had on the shelf, and this one was, I think, $4. So that is our Walmart haul. And using only this stuff, I am going to do a Special Effects Zombie makeup. So the only thing I'm going to add to this, because I forgot to grab them while I was in the store, is this little Crafters throwaway trash paintbrush. And they do have these in the kids crafting section with this stuff. And this regular kitchen sponge. I'm going to cut it into squares so it's easier to use. And I also purchased this t-shirt that's like this really dark swampy green. And this was $9.98. And I found that in the women's section right now. But I was just getting a trash t-shirt because I'm going to cut this up and make it dirty. And going to wear that as my t-shirt just to finish the look off. All right, I think that's everything. So now let's start on the makeup. Fresh-faced, hair back, ready to go. So first I'm going to start with this Revlon Color Stay pressed powder, and I got the lightest color I can find. If you have darker skin than me, if you're tan, just get a few shades lighter than the skin of the person getting the makeup so that it makes them look paled out. And first I'm just going to apply that everywhere, all over my face. Whatever color you want the skin of your zombie to be, that's the color that you want to put on your face right now. So if you have a zombie that has slightly blue skin or green skin or veined skin or skin with lots of purples, that's the color you're going to do on your skin right now, just all over. You don't have to do details and definition and shading yet. You just need to do the basic skin tone that you want. And if I keep looking over here, that's where my mirror is, so forgive me for looking over there so much. Okay, I think that's good. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get the biggest brush that was in that little craft brush kit. And I'm going to take some Elmer's glue and just pop the top off. I'm gonna do some skin rips on my face. Wherever I want the flesh to kind of be rotting away, I'm gonna put some glue. And I'm gonna put a very ultra thin layer. So if you do it too thick and you still see some of the white of the glue, then it will take forever to dry. But if you do a really thin layer, then that will be dry in a minute or two and you'll be able to continue with the makeup. So I think I want one here across my cheek. And I'm just going to put on a real thin layer of this glue and spread it out. You don't want any globs, and the edges you want to be as smooth as possible around the whole area that you're applying the glue to. And I don't like working with prosthetics very much. They're just such a pain in the butt. But good old Elmer's glue will do the trick every time. I think I want one back here on my jaw. You probably can't even see where I'm putting it on because I'm putting it on so thin. We just want those spots to get really, really dry before we touch them with anything else. So I'm gonna let those dry, and while that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and start working on filling in some shading and color around my eyes. So for my eyes, I want them to be dark and sunken and kind of bloody and maybe purpley. So I'm going to start with the lightest color and work to the darkest color instead of the other way around. And looking at these two palettes I got, I think this one right here is the light color that I'm gonna use because it has no shimmer in it, and it's the lightest one that doesn't have shimmer. The rest of these are all pretty silvery and have some glitter in them. So I'm just gonna use this really super light color and fill in all around my eyes just as a good base color. And try not to get any into the glue spots. If you have a spot that you want ripped skin near an eye, don't go in the eye, of course, because you don't want to put Elmer's glue in your eye. Then I would just wait for the glue to completely dry before doing anything else in that area. Okay, now I'm going to go in with this gray color because it also does not have any shimmer to it. I know it doesn't look like I'm doing too much. Again, these are really, really, really cheap palettes from Walmart, so the colors are not going to be super pigmented. So I'm just going to work in layers here. I'm just going to put that gray color all around. There's no rhyme or reason to it. I'm just anywhere inside the bone structure area where the indent of the eye is. So now I'm going to go switch to this other palette I got. This one, it has lots of blues and purples, and I think I'm going to go with this purple even though it's a little bit bright. I would prefer a blue, but this one's more of a teal blue and it's very shimmery. But this purple doesn't have any shine in it, so I'm going to go with this, and I'm going to mix them together and kind of go all over the area as well. Now for bruising, if you've never done any special effects makeup before, bruises are actually not purple, even though they look purple on the skin. And I will do another video in the future all about just bruises. Bruises are actually a combination of yellows and greens and reds and some blue, and it makes this really dark mottled purple color when you've added all those together. And there is a really good bruise kit. It is my preferred one to use, and it is by Ben Nye. And it's a little wheel, and it's got all the different colors that make up a bruise, and you can make all different kinds of bruises with it. It's a cream makeup. Usually it is used for stage makeup in the theater, and It is a really, really good one if you want bruises. So just keep in mind, if you want a bruise to be on your zombie, then you are going to want to get a makeup palette that has yellows in it and greens in it. You're not going to necessarily want this one that has purples and blues in it. Okay, I think that's enough of the purple color for now, just on the eye area. We will add more in a few other areas. Now I'm going to go in with my black color. Now I don't know which of these blacks is going to be the best because both palettes comes with a black, so I'm just gonna do a swatch on my hand real quick. So let's try the one from this little palette. That one's not terrible, but it's not super dark, and I really want a darker color, so let me try this other one. Oh yeah, that's definitely the one we're going to be using. So we're going to use this one right here. So using my little old-fashioned eyeshadow brush, I'm just going to go in right around the eye. And don't worry, I'm going to go in with my brush and kind of blend this all out. I just want that darkest color right next to the eye. If you have really light eyelashes like me, you may want to wear mascara. Typically, I won't put mascara and eyeliner on zombies just because we don't want them to look like a beauty queen, unless you are doing a zombie that's a beauty queen. All right, so I'm going to take the biggest brush that I have in this set, which is this one right here. I'm just gonna kind of feather everything together. All right, now I'm going to take this glue stick, and I can feel the glue is pretty much dry on the sides. I need to test it to see if it needs another layer. I'm just gonna go over my eyebrows. It is going on purple because this was the cheapest one they had, but it will dry clear because I don't want any hairs sticking out. So I'm gonna put the purple glue on there, and then I'll go over that with some more makeup in a second. Okay, yeah, these spots are dry. I think this one up top needs a little bit thicker coat. I'm just gonna do a second coat on this one up here. Might do a second coat on all three of them while I'm at it. You just get a lot nicer skin tear if you do a couple of layers of the glue. And again, just make sure there's no lumps. Spread it out as much as you can. I am going to go in with this red, and it is the reddest blush I could find. And I'm gonna go with this little tiny brush that I have in the kit. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get up close to my eye, and that is where I'm going to put, where I would normally put like a bead of eyeliner, I'm gonna put this red. Okay, on the top line, I'm gonna do the same thing just above like the lash area. Just put a little hint of red. This one is that orangey red liner that I found, and it's just a pencil, and I'm actually going to use this like an eyeliner. Just please, please, please do not get this in your eye. Just gonna put a little bit there so that red color really pops. And a little bit on top. And I don't want that to smudge around all over the place, so I'm gonna go in a little bit with the black eyeshadow. And I'm gonna do this little brush. And I'm gonna go in with the black, and right outside the red line, I'm gonna add in more black. My glue needs to dry a little bit longer, so I'm going to take this fluffy brush and go back in with this gray color right here, and maybe a little bit of the super light color, and I'm going to blend them together and start adding some more shadows to my face. And you're really just going to try to make yourself look gaunt. So I'm noticing here that I did not get any kind of blush brush. So I'm going to take the pad from the Color Stay powder and use this same color to add some darker spots to my cheeks here. This side may not work too well because that's right over the glue spot, but that's okay. Then I'm gonna put some up here around the edge of the face. Don't be afraid to put it back into your hairline to kind of blend it in. Just add some shading here and there. Doesn't have to be perfect. We're gonna screw it all up anyway. So I'm going to take this red liner that I was using earlier and kind of do some little veins coming off of the eye. Now I'm going to go in with that same black we've been using. I'm just gonna go right around the lips. All right, my glue is fully dry now. So as you can see, when you pull it up, it kind of looks like torn off skin. So whatever color you put on your face at the very beginning before you put the glue down is the color that the glue will rip up as. So if you have a blue skin toned zombie, you're gonna do the blue skin tone before the glue so that when you rip the glue up, the glue will have a bluish tint to it. If you're doing just a single zombie, like just one person and you have a lot of time, go ahead and do base and powder before doing the glue, because that will tint it even more and make it look more skin-like. So you see I got an edge right here that's ripping up. So now I'm going to take my little craft brush, and it has an open middle side. Now very, very gently and carefully, I'm going to use this side to rip a scratch in each of the sections that has glue. And that's where it's going to look like the flesh is being eaten away. Sometimes it can be kind of hard to get it started. But once you get it started, you can just kind of rip it up as big of a hole as you want to have. Okay, a little bit further this way. And just don't rip it all off with your finger, but you want to tear a little bit out so it's kind of hanging. Now be gentle with this, because it can get sticky and it can get laid down to your skin again and stuck where you can't see it, but it can also rip off and flake off even more. So you want to be careful with this once you have it ripped to your liking. All right, we have one. Okay, this one I want to be a little bit bigger. And if you need to cut some of it away, if there's too much skin, that's fine too, or you can just rip it into pieces. Here. Just enough to where you want to be able to take some of these flatter brushes, because we're going to put some more makeup inside the cut. This one didn't want to hang on very well, so I'm just going to kind of artfully rip it up a little so we just have some hanging skin. Okay, so we have our rotting flesh areas. So now is the fun part. We're going to take this little brush. It's like a round brush kind of that came in the craft paintbrushes kit, and I'm going to go in with this red here, and I'm going to fill in the inside area of each of these cuts as thoroughly as I can with this red color as the base. And we will go back in and add more red later, but we just want to start with red, and this is our lightest color, and then we're going to work towards our darkest color. And make sure you get underneath the edges here so that there's no normal skin tone underneath. Go to this one next. Just get that whole area inside red, because that's where we're gonna do the bloody parts. And then for this one, since there's no, it's not a circle all the way around, I'm just gonna kind of blend it out at the edge. Then we're gonna take that same red and we're gonna go on the outside edge all the way around right here. Kind of where the edge of the, not the cut, but the shape. We want this part to stay light, and we're gonna do some red right around the edge and just kind of blend it with your finger some. So it's not like a hard line. It's gonna be like irritated skin. And go to the outside here. Okay, and this is where, if you're going to add bruises to the skin areas, this would be the time to do it. So again, I don't have any really good bruise colors because I didn't get a yellow-green palette. So I am just gonna go in with a little bit of purple and mixed with black in a few areas around kind of those cut areas. Add a little bit more black into it. You don't want it to be too purple because then it won't look very realistic. Okay, I think that looks good. Now we're going to start working on our darker colors. So I'm gonna go back to this gray color and I will probably use, I'm gonna use this one, and I'm just gonna go in and kind of mix it. Now this is where if I had a brown, I would be mixing the brown with the red instead of a gray. And you want it just in the areas that would be darkest, where the actual, like if there's a cut is gonna be, or right underneath the skin line. And then I'm going to mix the black from this one that wasn't quite as dark. I'm not gonna use that brush. I'm going to use the small precision brush again and start defining more of a cut area. This one's not really a cut, it's just kind of a, so I'm just gonna do the back part as the darkest and maybe kind of bring it forward a little bit. Gonna blend those together. Then I'm gonna go back with this brush and add more red on top of that before we do the darkest black color, because we don't want to lose that base red color in there. And after we finish with all the colors, we're gonna go in with these lipsticks and really define the more red and bloody colors. I'm gonna add some red around the lips because zombies are hungry and they like to eat. Okay, so with this little liner angled brush that I was using earlier, I'm gonna go in with the darkest black that I have. All right, so now what I'm going to do is do something I said I wasn't gonna do, and I'm gonna go to my bathroom and get my liquid eyeliner because I forgot to grab one of those as well. Give me just 1 minute and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back and I have my liner, and I'm just using my normal liquid liner that I use. This one is the Lady Gaga liquid eyeliner from House Laboratories. And you just want one that has a regular pointed tip. That's the easiest kind to use. And what you're gonna do is go in on your cuts and do a very thin line just where the cut part is. Okay. I'm just adding a little bit of a slight messy black underneath the eye a little bit more to kind of accentuate it. I'm not filling it in completely. Then I'm going to take this same black and do some mess around the lips. And I'm just gonna use my finger while it's still wet. And you don't wanna get this in your mouth, so try not to get it in your mouth. And on top of that, around the lips, I'm gonna go back in with the black shadow just so that it doesn't come off on anything. I can blend it a little bit better. Okay. Now I'm going to take this, which is a stain. It's CoverGirl Outlast lip stain. I didn't actually mean to grab a lip stain, but since I did, we are going to utilize it. And it has this little felt tip on it. And I'm going to go right outside the edge of my cut. Whatever cut design I did. And if you need to go back in with the liner and redefine your cut a little bit, which I will probably do, I'm just using it like a marker. And then I'm going to take this same stain, and I'm going to take this little blue craft brush and get some on the tip of that and see if I can transfer it. Because if I can, yeah, then I'm going to go around the edge of the cut a little bit with that. But I want to do it with the brush because I don't want the line to be so defined. I just want it to be really faint. The outer edge of this one. Just kind of blend it out a little. And I'm gonna go in and do the same thing with my lips and all the area that I didn't cover with black. I just want to do that inside edge of the lips. And then I'll do some here and there. And now all this stuff, once you get used to doing this type of shading, can go really quick when you're going person to person, and you don't have to put nearly as much detail as I have put. Zombies are basically just a mess. So as long as you have the pale, gaunt shading, all the details on top, the veins and all of that, you don't have to do any of that part. Then we're gonna do this. This is a Outlast Ultimate Liquid Lipstick. I got two of these, a bright red and a darker red. I'm going to go with the darker red first. And instead of using the brush it came with, I'm going to use this little bitty brush that came with the craft set that I bought. And I am going to scoop some out onto a little palette here. And I'm just going to go in and add some more really dark blood looking spots right close to the cut. And this is going to make it look sticky, and it'll work even better if you can manage to get the one that is not matte. I didn't realize I was grabbing a matte one. I would have grabbed a gloss one if I'd noticed that, because the gloss is what makes it look like fresh, sticky blood. We're just going to kind of define the edge a little bit more of all these cuts. And then the craft brush, I'm going to scoop up what's left on my palette, just on the tip of it, and kind of splatter it a few places here and there. And this one's more of a purpley dark color, so it does more look like bruise than blood. So then I'm going to go in with the brightest red and do basically the same thing, except this time I'm just going to use the sponge applicator because I just want to kind of glob it on. And then I'm going to go in with my craft and spread it out a little bit. Or your finger works just fine. Around the lips, I'm really going to heavy glob it on now. And there's not quite enough black for me on the lips, so I'm going to go in with our dark eyeshadow and add a little bit more black in there. And if you have fake blood, this is where you want to spritz it and spray it everywhere. I don't have any fake blood, so I really wanted to get some in a little Halloween palette to make this a little bit easier for people, because you can do this whole look with a really cheap Halloween palette as well. But since I don't have that, I'm going to get a little bit of water. Okay, I'm back. I've got my little jar of water. And I'm going to use this in combination with the sponge that I got. I'm just going to cut a little chunk off of it to make it easier to use. Roughed it up a little bit with these scissors. Please be careful with the scissors and do not cut yourself. On my little makeshift palette here, I'm going to glob some of this lipstick. All right, now first I'm going to start with the sponge. I'm going to get the sponge a little bit wet to thin it out. Okay, I'm just going to get some of that on there and lightly just kind of slap the face with it, especially in the areas where there's blood. And then I'm going to use the back of the brush, back of the sponge, dry, so I can get a little bit more color on there. And zombies are a mess, so it does not have to be one way or the other. So this is the part where I just start dabbing. Dabbing it on everywhere. And usually, if you have real fake blood, usually what I would do is I will take the fake blood that I have and mix it into separate containers, each one containing a different amount of fake blood and water. And I'll make one really watery and add a little bit of like a blue food coloring mix to it and shake it up really good. And I will put that in a mister or a spray bottle, and as the final touch, just mist and spray all over your zombie. And then you have the one that's slightly less water in it, and you can use that for drips. So you'll want to put that around the mouth and places where blood would be dripping and let it drip and just dry that way. And then you have the one that doesn't have any water in it and it's just the regular fake blood. And that one is the one you're going to want to sponge all over the place just so you look a little bit sticky. So I'm going to go ahead and stop it there. It's looking like a red mess. But again, I'm a zombie. So then I'm going to just finish it off with a little bit of hairspray. Just so it doesn't fade or rub off, or so it lasts a little bit. All right, so then for quick zombie hair, which is why I didn't bother straighten my hair today, I'm going to hold my hair up and do the hairspray. Not necessarily going to tease it. I'm just spraying it upwards. Flip your head upside down. Will work too. My hair, when it puffs up, it puffs up. Okay. I'm just gonna crinkle it. And if you have your different fake bloods, you're going to mat some of it in the hair too. And so I'm gonna take a little bit of my hair, because it's a little bit too much, to kind of hold the rest down. Maybe my zombie turned into a zombie while her hair was in a ponytail. I'm just gonna put a really, really nasty, messy ponytail in there. And then I'm gonna take my baby powder. And my shirt, I'm gonna go change and cut this shirt up, and I'll see you in a minute. And there you have it, our zombie look, achieved with nothing but some budget-friendly makeup and craft supplies from the local Walmart. I'm pretty impressed with how this turned out, considering the supplies were so affordable. Who knew you could create such a creepy, professional-looking zombie with just a few inexpensive products? If you gave this challenge a try, I would love to see your zombie creations. Drop a comment below and let me know how it went, or share any tips and tricks you figured out along the way. If you enjoyed this budget-friendly makeover, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more fun and creative challenges. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I hope you're feeling inspired to get spooky without spending a ton. Until next time, stay creative and have a frightfully good time. See you in the next video.